in the talking points, basically like the prosecution talking points. So that's, for me, was very shocking to have, you know, a Speaker of the House, a Social Democrat, actively engaged in sort of, you know, the persecution, you know.
So 700 people have written under a document asking to be charged with the same charges. And of course, thousands of people were much more active in preventing and attacking Helsinki. And she was worse,
you know,
in the January case.
Because then, you know, Helsinki couldn't function. They had to.
They had to close down their meetings for one day, which has never happened before. Well, no one is charged for that. Why? This is what people ask themselves, and people are really angry.
I think one of the reasons that we, as a group, were charged is because at least 2 of the 9, you know, have been very active in sort of the you know,
anarchist movement.
Anarchist movement, and
this is a very prosecuted movement here.
And very sort of demonized. So I think that's part of the reason. Just you know, just within the establishment, there's anger towards that kind of people.
Well, to me, it almost looks like some sort of smokescreen to get focus elsewhere. Because if you look at what is really happening in Iceland, I'd almost say that if there were any criminals around there, it would be the people on the inside of the building, not the people on the outside.
Exactly. And then some people are saying that this is an attempt to sort of have protests, you know, criminalize protests, so people are not as willing to be, you know, to participate in them. This, I think, is probably very true.
Yeah, because nobody would really think that you'd be arrested and prosecuted when possibly be put in jail for years for trying to go inside the thingy. When, as I understand, you have a right to do so, basically.
Yes, and that's what we thought. You know, that's our assumption was that we can't do this. We are not breaking the law.
But what really happened after this, on the New Year's Eve of 2008, and in January, was that the anarchist activists and the general public became sort of one force. It's very unusual, but there was an alliance between these 2 forces, and I think that's a part of the problem the authorities have now. They cannot really separate these 2.
Because at least from what little I've read while I've been here, it sort of looks like the opinion of the people of Iceland is on the side of these people who are being prosecuted, and not with the government on this.
Maybe. For me, it's kind of hard to. I think it would be split pretty equally. I think so. I think there's a great number of the population who believe that this was totally out of line. Even though we were allowed to go, then we should not have, that this was sort of crossing some boundary that should not be crossed, even in such a time of crisis.
I don't know. I for example, things like the crises, where this was what happened on New Year's Eve, where the politicians of the nation were stopped from live direct broadcast, which is a yearly event, by activists who attacked the location.
They just stopped. They just pulled the plug. It was pretty amazing.
It was much more aggressive action.
Much more aggressive.
That was, nobody has been charged.
That was like 500 people who were out, and I think almost everyone there was very active in, you know, we are going to stop this. We will not allow them to have this insane-looking debate, and everything is just crumbling, and they're just sitting there, you know, sipping wine and eating smoked herring.
And it had an enormous effort, because they were eating wine and eating something and sipping wine, and then you could hear the din from the outside, the noise from the cookhouse. You could hear it. So we then protesters found out how to use noise Noise was an effective weapon.
Yes, true.
So that was used in the
So,
general
yeah.
use.
So this is a big mystery.
It almost sounds like they're just picking out some. But
Yeah,
to make an
that's
example
also,
of.
I mean, because of the 30, just very randomly
Yeah,
picked the 9.
yeah.
There's really, if you go through the case files, it's very illogical. And it turns out also that, you know, the charges of violence, you know, that we were pushing and shoving. It, you know, turns out the surveillance camera, the video that the police and the prosecutors put forward as evidence of our violence actually show that the most severe case of violence is an accident where the guards are pulling onto a protester and he falls backwards onto a guard working and she falls and hurts her back. So, and this is on tape, but then the prosecution puts forward this tape as evidence of violence when it clearly shows the opposite. So it does not give you a great sense of, you know, faith in the Icelandic establishment.
No, it doesn't. Well, let's just hope you win the case.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, just at the end here, I'd like to ask